All right, guys, something I rarely talk about on this channel because it's my least favorite genre of film is comedy. Um, but that isn't to say that I don't love some comedies, because I sure as shit do. You guys have heard me talk about tons of them on here throughout the almost 2 years now I've been doing the channel. I've referenced them, I've recommended them, and whatnot. And I was looking on my shelf for some movies, and I saw a couple films that were together, and I was like, it'd be fun is if I did a video where I talked about 5 comedies that I think are absolutely hilarious that no one talks about. This is not some order. This isn't like the 5 best comedies no one speaks about. These are just 5 comedies that I think are great that I never ever see anyone discuss, anyone recommend. And I want to take a minute here just to throw them out here, see which one of these ones that you guys have seen, and if you do watch them, tell me if I'm crazy. Maybe there's just all nostalgia. I don't know, but man, I love these fucking movies. The first one, I have 4 of the 5 sitting in my lap. The reason I don't have the 5th is because the 5th hasn't been put on DVD. I think it was put on DVD, but it's out of print now. They never put it out on a proper release. I would love to see this. And that film is Brain Donors with John Turturro. This is a super slapsticky, goofy ass comedy. It has John Turturro is this ambulance chaser, and they just hijinks after hijinks. These guys are hilarious. It is a goofy ass movie. I would say it probably would fall into the slapstick, but I don't want to say it's airplane slapstick. It isn't. It's almost like a Three Stooges. That's the way I would kind of explain it if I could. I don't want to say too much about it, but it's a fun film. The 2 other guys in this, I really haven't seen them do much else, but in this film they really do play well off of each other. The 3 of them has one of my favorite comedy lines ever, which is, I'll spoil this one, but it's like it's one of my favorite lines in all of comedy. It's Turturro, and he's in this argument with this guy, and he's like, why don't we take this outside and handle this like men? And he's like, we are outside. He's like, well then let's take it inside and handle it like women. That line I remember the first time I heard it, I thought it was the funniest shit ever. All right, so moving on. Check it out, Brain Donors. I think it's from 1992. I could be completely off on that, but I think that's correct. So check it out. Has anyone seen that? Brain Donors. It is a rare one, man. You can't find it anywhere. It's a shame. Next up is National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon 1, another slapstick comedy. This is a parody film, mostly parodying Lethal Weapon, with Emilio Estevez, Samuel Jackson, obviously Merton Riggs. A lot of films are parodied in here, mostly films of the early 90s and the late 80s. You've got a Bruce Willis cameo doing John McClane. You've got John Lovitz in here, which essentially plays the Leo Getz of the movie. Fucking hilarious. Oh my god, he's so funny in this movie. It heavily parodies Silence of the Lambs, which I want to say this came out in 93? Yeah, 93. So these were all big at that time. Tim Curry is in this. Kathy Ireland. A lot of familiar faces. A lot of cameos. Whoopi Goldberg. Anybody seen this one? One of the best parody movies ever. I quote this one a whole ton as well. So I just thought it'd be fun to talk about comedies for a minute. I bash on them all the time. So all right, next up is Love Stinks with French Stewart, Bridget Wilson, Tyra Banks, and Bill Bellamy. The For anyone who's been in a really horrible relationship, I think anyone can relate to this. Now, I know there are people out there that don't care for this movie because they think that it's cruel towards women, that it makes all women look like they're fucking nuts. And that's just not the case. He just so happens to have a crazy girlfriend because Tyra Banks' character in this movie is a pretty great woman for the most part. I mean, she has her friendship. here with her, but she's fine. So it doesn't label all women as crazy. It labels this woman right here as crazy. And there are plenty of lines. I mean, hundreds. But there are a few lines in this that I quote on definitely a weekly basis. There are so many. Shit, man. I can't even begin to come up with my favorite, but oh man, I laughed so hard. So yeah, he is a writer for a TV show, and she is like, looking for a husband, and she's gonna stop at absolutely nothing to get him to marry her. And if he won't, she's gonna make his life a living fucking hell, and she does. And some of the fucking funniest dialogue, love it. All right, moving on. Next, we have probably, oh god, this is one of my favorite teen comedies of all time, but never hear anyone talk about it. It is like, it always gets compared to Dazed and Confused, which everyone knows about Dazed and Confused. Everyone talks about it. And that is The Stoned Age. Oh, God, I can't say enough good about this movie. Joe and Hubs. So Joe and Hubs are these party dudes that are out on the town, and they're just cruising, and they're looking for babes, and they find out about this chick here who looks like the chick on the Virgin Killers record, and they're gonna go to the old fucking, like, next door to the old Frankie Avalon place, and they're gonna go try to hook up with this chick. And of course, lots of insanity happens because every guy in town wants to fuck this girl, including the town bully who just got out of prison, who almost killed this Samoan dude. This is one of the most quotable movies ever. It feels like an inside joke the entire time. And the more you watch it, the more you're on the inside of the joke. Like there's, they have all of their stuff in this is their own stuff. So there's a lot of like references, but it's all within the universe that they create in this. So the Ox 45, which is the beer within the film, becomes a big part of the jokes. And because you have to know of the Ox 45 from the film itself to get the jokes, as I said, the more you watch it, the more you get in on it. This also features Clifton Gonzalez, who has had a huge career since this. I want to say he's definitely done the most. Jake Busey's also in this. Should have kicked his ass. Well, I would have if it wasn't for his massive upper body strength. And I'm trying to think if there's anyone else in this movie. It's been a little while since I've watched it, but I want to say those are the biggest names in the movie. This guy, Hubs, he's actually, if you Bradford Tatum, right? Or what's his name? Or no, I'm thinking of a different character, a different actor. Or am I? I don't know. It doesn't matter, but fucking rad movie. Check it out. If you're into Dazed and Confused, but you want a little more inside humor, I think it's a great one. And finally, John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd, Neighbors, which just got a Blu-ray release from Mill Creek for $7.50. I've been waiting for this to get a DVD release forever. Never got one. And finally, Mill Creek comes out with a Blu-ray for $7 recently. I picked it up instantly. This is a wacky-ass movie. So, this is one of I think this might be Belushi's last movie ever made. And Belushi plays the straight-laced guy, and Aykroyd plays the nutcase. It's a complete role reversal for them. And it's some of the weirdest, darkest humor you'll ever watch. It is such a bizarre movie, but it works so well for me. I think the comedy lands. Touch that cup again, and it's Pump City. Just Ramona in this, his wife Enith, and it's another movie that just, it gets better and better every time you watch it, because it feels like you're like in on the gag. Like this movie was made almost as an inside joke as well, and it's so dark, and there's such subtlety to certain humor. Like he comes home from work and his life is so mundane and he's stuck in such a rut. And when he, like, nothing about his life is good. Even when he throws on the TV and he's flipping through the channels, all that's on the TV is like miserable news of people getting hit in the heads with bricks and fucking people drowning in the river. And so it's just like, it's all miserable. And then this happy-go-lucky, plucky family moves in next door, but they're eccentric and odd and sexually perverse and thieves and liars, and they're just trying to push Earl Keenan into this Earl Keats? Is that his last name? Shit, it's been a little while since I've watched this movie. Oh, Earl Keith. Yeah, okay, I'm right. Hey, it's cool too. It looks like a VHS. Isn't that cool? That's what they're doing with their Blu-rays. It's really cool. They did this with a few others as well. Happy Birthday to Me and whatnot. So Mill Creek picking it up, and the transfer looks really good. I threw it in for a minute to check out the quality, and it's great stuff. So anyways, this video is running a little longer. Let me know if you guys watched any of these. Let me know if any of these are some of your faves as well. I can't be the only one, right? Any one of these, plus brain donors, don't forget. Let me know. I want to know if anyone else is a fan of these things. Adios.